I'll call the February meeting of the Area Plan Commission to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Ryan Baker,
Present.
Kevin Beaver, Deborah Carter,
Here.
James Chrisman,
Here.
Terry Clark,
Here.
Mark Klinkenbeard,
Here.
John Collette,
Here.
Norm Froderman,
Here.
Don Falk, John Hanley,
Here.
Marcus Mauer,
Here.
Debbie May, Amanda Thompson, William Burdine.
We do have a quorum. Could I ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes from our previous meeting as well as the current status report. Are there any comments on that, corrections? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second. Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We don't have any public comments that you're aware of outside of the agenda. Okay. Executive Director's report.
Good evening. I have 3 or 4 things, and I'll apologize in advance. My voice, as you can hear, is kind of coming and going this evening. First thing, I would like to welcome Deborah Carter to our board and thank her for volunteering of her time and service to our cause. As you know, she's replacing the late Mr. Wilson. Also would like to congratulate this evening our administrative assistant. Devin was promoted to council administrator for the county. So this will be her last meeting with us. In the meantime, we have managed to have 60 applicants for her position. We've narrowed the field down to 8, and we start our interviews next week.
Good.
So that's all moving along nicely. One other item, and this was probably a failure on my part, I did not realize when we put together the calendar for this year that our April dates coincide with Vigo County School Corporation spring break. Historically, we have had a difficult time getting a quorum when those two overlap. So my question would be, are we interested in maybe moving our date back a week so that if anybody on this board wishes to travel at the same time the kids do or need that time off to be with the break, they can have that time also and don't have to worry about being here.
Okay.
So the original date is April 2nd. It would move back 1 week to April 9th if we wanted to do that.
Okay. Does anybody have any preference?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Probably have a motion.
Yeah.
I'll motion to April 9th instead of the 2nd.
Okay.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move it to April 9th then. Okay.
Okay, thank you. One other thing, kind of on a technical side, I wanted to let you know, yes, we do have new microphones. They are very sensitive. They can hear everything. IT has told us that they're doing things a little different now. They'll start the recording at the end of the day when they leave, and the recording is running the whole time we're here. Though they come in the next day and then take that full recording and trim it down to just our meeting. So just be cautious. We don't know where they're going to trim it. As long as these microphones are on, they're going to hear you. So just be careful. As long as those microphones are on, know that it may make it onto the live web stream.
Okay. All right. Sydney?
I just have a couple little things. House and Rolled Act of 1167 takes effect July 1st, where we have to post agendas on the website. So we already started to do that. The Board of Zoning Appeals, the county, the city, and APC are all on the area planning website now. So if anyone wants to see the agenda, you can tell them to go there to see it. The other is the handout you have. Mr. McKee, the attorney for the Vigo County Conservancy, or the Honey Creek Conservancy District, gave us a really long, nice update about what's going on with the project.
Okay.
So I won't go into too much detail, but at this point, they are saying sometime in 2026.
Okay. All right. Any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission? Not all entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We did not have any administrative plats in the last month, it looks like. So we'll move to the first item on the agenda under old business, city rezonings, docket number 92, special ordinance number 43, 2024, 1519 Washington Avenue from a C6 to an M1 light industry district.
The property owner is Jared Smith, represented by Mr. Felling. Proposed use is a storage yard. Proposed zoning is M1 Light Industrial District. Current zoning is C6 Strip Business. It's on the corner of Washington Avenue and South 16th Streets. It is in a reuse and redevelopment area. It is C2, C5, and C6 to the north, R2 to the east and south, and M1 to the west. The petitioner is requesting to rezone the property to M1 Light Industry District for a storage yard. The petition did not specify what would be stored on the property. Within 300 feet of a residence district, all storage except of motor vehicles shall be completely within enclosed buildings or may be located out of doors if it is effectively screened by a solid wall or fence, including solid entrance and exit gates as specified in section 10-172E for junkyard. A site plan was not provided other than the printout from Beacon. There is residential zoning to the east and south. On the recommendation of the Department of Engineering stated that intended use would not alter the neighborhood's characteristic or create any significant problems for the surrounding area. Staff offers a favorable recommendation with site plan approval by city engineering.
Mr. Felling.
Mr. President, members of the commission, Eddie Felling, Linden Felling Law Firm, here on behalf of Mr. Smith, who is in the audience this evening. I'll just kind of jump in and talk directly about what the plans are for this location. The ultimate goal, as soon as hopefully this passes, there will be a screen fence, an 8-foot screen fence that would go entirely around the property. So I think that would improve overall the way it currently sits today. It is M1 directly to the west, so this would be in conjunction with the same use that's next door. And what Mr. Smith does, it's unique. He brings in a vehicle and brings it indoors and effectively strips it entirely down for parts. So that's airbags. Every piece of it is taken apart. It's then taken directly either to a smelter or it's sold through e-commerce. There's no commerce that occurs on site unless somebody would be picking up an item after they purchase it online. But again, there's usually a few cars there at a time. Brings one in, completely removes it, takes those items then to the smelter or to a seller. So again, I would ask for your approval. He is here to help answer any questions you may have. I don't know if anybody's been out there to see the property, but I think once we get that fence up, it will make this whole area look considerably better.
Okay. Anyone on the planning commission have any
So
questions?
is he got a regular business, he does this or something, or?
That's the plan. No, that's what he's planning to use.
He doesn't have a business previous, right now to do that?
He's not running it out of there now, currently, no.
So what's he do now, just store those campers and stuff there?
Yeah, there's some items there. I mean,
He's gonna get rid of all that stuff, or?
Well, what'll happen, it'll be screened.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that's the improvement part
So
of
that way
it.
you won't see all the campers.
And technically, I think you don't even need the screening if it is motor vehicles, if I'm correct. But he's absolutely going to put it up. So, I think in talking to city engineering as well, what started this whole process was that he wanted to put the screen fence up, and this was an avenue for him to put the screening, to have the ability to put a screen fence in.
Okay, that answered my question. I just wasn't sure, because it's been like that forever with the campers and
Right.
stuff there, so.
Anyone else? Any questions?
No violation of the site perimeter with the screen fence on the corner.
Well, I think with our new ordinance, he'll have to get a permit for the fence now, and I think he'll have to give a plan to city engineering before he can put that up. So I'm sure they'll double check to make sure there's no problems.
I've got a question for staff. You're required to put a fence up, right? Even if it's vehicles?
In industrial, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think is it the screening part of it though?
It's
that-
the screening part,
Right.
yeah.
So to clarify, yeah, I mean, again, it will be a screen fence he's putting up. So you're not looking at any junked vehicles that are sitting on the property.
It'll be metal, but not with like the slats in it or something. It'd be like a solid fence, not with slats in it, or that where they, I guess I want to say where they hang the stuff on the fence and it blows off after a while. It won't be
Right.
Nothing like that, right?
No, he's got a whole.
That's what I mean. It'd be like a regular metal fence.
Correct, yeah.
Or wood fence or something, correct, okay.
So we wouldn't let him put up a fence if he didn't rezone to M1?
He couldn't have a screen fence, I think, was part of the problem, and I don't think it could have been over 6 feet unless we had a variance.
Right.
I would say something, but the microphone will hear what I have to say. I'll refrain.
Any other questions? Is there anyone here speaking in opposition to this request? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Next item under new business, county rezoning's docket number 1, UZO number 1, 2025. 3862 Hotel Street from an RS to an R1 single-family residential district.
The property is located on the south side of Hotel Street and is 3862 Hotel Street. The property owner, Prairieton Volunteer Fire Association, is currently zoned RS Single Family Residential and wishes to rezone to R1 Single Family Residential for a volunteer fire department with offices and training quarters. All surrounding uses are all residential, and this area is recommended for rural residential uses. The property is the current location of the Prairieton Volunteer Firemen Association and is considered a legally established non-conforming use. So legally established non-conforming uses are declared by the ordinance to be incompatible with permitted uses in the zoning district in which such legally established non-conforming use is located. A legally established non-conforming use of a building or structure or legally established non-conforming use of land shall not be extended, expanded, or enlarged after the effective date of the ordinance. So this rezoning request will not alter the general characteristics of the neighborhood. The property in the past was a school. Fire stations are listed in R1 zoning with a special exception. The volunteer fire department plans on building a new structure that will be training quarters and offices. The building to the east will be demolished at a later date. Expansion of the use of the location forfeits the nonconformity, requiring the property to be brought into compliance. The petitioners have requested a special exception from the County Board of Zoning Appeal, so therefore we offer a favorable recommendation with the approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals for the special exception use.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hello, how's everybody doing? I'm not used to this, so I apologize.
That's okay.
So I don't know exactly how this goes, but
If staff did a good job of presenting what you want to do, you can say, I don't have anything else to add. If you want to add, we're happy to listen.
I don't have anything else to add, besides obviously, this is for the betterment of the community. It allows firefighters to be on station 24/7 comparative to before, and or, staying down at Prairie Creek, having to transfer up to Prairieton. So this will allow for much shorter response times.
Okay.
So I believe this will be for the betterment of the community.
Okay. Does anyone on the commission have any questions?
Motion to approve?
We got to make sure there's nobody here in opposition to this.
I have,
He has a quick
Chair,
question.
this is the one I spoke briefly about, the town of West Terre Haute. Do we, West Terre Haute have anything to do with that?
This is in Prairieton.
Am I the only one that got?
It does, at the top say town of West Terre Haute jurisdiction.
I just, what you're, at number 3, I believe is docket number 3 is the same word. It has a heading. It could
You are
be-
correct.
it
We
could
did not
be-
change the heading. Thank you
But
for
it
catching
does,
that.
it does, this docket does not have anything to do with West Terre
No.
Haute. Is there anyone here speaking in opposition to this request? I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item under new business, county rezoning's docket number 2, UZO number 2, 2025, 985 West Spring Hill Drive from an A1 to C4 Commerce Office District.
So the property is 985 West Spring Hill Drive, currently zoned A1 agricultural, proposed zoning C4 commercial office district, proposed use child care center. I believe Mr. Shagley is representing them this evening.
Yeah.
Okay. The surrounding uses are mixed. It's medium intensity residential for the most part. North is ag, south is open space, east is commercial C7, and west is M1. The petitioner does request a change to open a child care center, which is a permitted use by right in C4. There are commercial and industrial uses near this location. Traffic should not be a concern in this area. It is recommended that fences be constructed to prevent children from entering Spring Hill or any other adjacent commercial uses. A minimal site plan was submitted. Adequate parking and hard surfacing of public use areas will be required. The property is in a FEMA identified special flood hazard area. The building is pre-firm, which may limit future development. Any development or remodeling is defined in the flood hazard ordinance of Eagle County must be permitted and comply with the ordinance. So based upon our findings, we offered favorable recommendations with the following needed: a revised site plan to include adequate parking and details on the size and location of the commercial drive cut.
Mr. Shagley.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shagley. I'm with the law firm Wright, Shagley & Lowry. And tonight I'm here on behalf of Elnorly LLC, who is the owner of the property at 985 West Spring Hill. Before I continue, I want to thank you for your patience last month. I was not feeling well. I don't know if you picked up on that. But I appreciate your kindness and your speed in letting me get back to home base. So if I may continue. As stated, this property is A1. The proposed change is for a C4 for a child care center. The proposed tenant of this property has 5 or 6 daycares in the area already. They've been doing it for about 20 or 30 years. They operate under Step to Be Stars Daycare. This will be their 4th location in Vigo County, and they have one in Rosedale, and I guess that's Vigo County, and then they have one in Clinton. This is a well-known operator. We believe this is a good addition to this area, and we also, the owner of the property is well aware of the flood restrictions going forward, and the other requirements that have been presented by the area plan office. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from anyone on the Plan Commission? Anyone here speaking in opposition to this request? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item under new business, county rezonings, docket number 3, UZO number 3, 2025, 2059 East Spring Hill Drive from an R1 to an R2 two-family residential district.
The property owner AMZ Development LLC does have an address at 2059 East Spring Hill. It is currently R1 single-family residential. The proposed zoning is R2 two-family residential for a child care center. And Mr. Shagley represented them as well. This area is identified as suburban residential. The uses all around are all residential, with the exception of to the north is the C2. It is very well served with utilities. The petitioner is requesting to bring their existing child care center into compliance with the UZO for Vigo County. The child care center has been in operation prior to the UZO taking effect and was a legal non-conforming. The petitioner wants to add an addition onto the existing building, which again forfeits legal non-conforming status. The petitioner has applied for a special exception to allow for a child care center in an R2 and a variance of the 25 feet from the 25-foot rear yard setback through the Vigo County Board of Zoning Appeals. So we offered a favorable recommendation with approval of a special exception and variances through the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Mr. Shagley.
Good evening, Mr. President, fellow members of the commission. My name is Richard Shagley. I'm with the law firm of Wright, Shagley & Lowry, and tonight I'm here on behalf of AMZ Development LLC. They are the owners of this property and have been for quite some time, and as Jared stated, they've been operating a daycare out of this location, and it has been used for daycare for a very long time, and as Jared mentioned, they are wanting to rezone it from R1 to an R2 to allow for this addition that will allow for them to provide care for 6 more children. But to do that, they will be giving up the non-conforming, and as a result, they're here tonight asking for this to be rezoned to R2. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions on this request? Anyone here speaking in opposition to this? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion for approval.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for your help last month. And Ms. Carter, welcome to the Area Plan Commission.
Thank you.
Next item under resolution, amendment to the declaratory resolution for the 2020 Consolidated Economic Development Area and the Economic Development Plan for said area from Barnes and Thornburg LLP.
Yeah, so the petitioner in this case is Terre Haute City Redevelopment Commission, who wishes to amend their economic development plan to, I believe it's add 686 Wabash, is that correct? Or are we removing 686 Wabash?
So we're creating a new allocation area out of parcels that are currently in a different allocation area.
Please continue.
So the area that you see on the map is currently within the city's 2020 consolidated allocation area, which is in the city's 2020 consolidated economic development area. What the redevelopment commission would like to do is take the two parcels in the map out of their existing allocation area and create a new two-parcel small allocation area out of them. That allocation area is being created incident to providing an incentive to a developer for the construction of a new hotel that will be located on those two parcels. So the creation of the special allocation area allows that incentive, which will be approved, it would be considered by the city at their coming council meetings to avoid impacting the larger 2020 consolidated allocation area.
Clear as mud.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions on that? Go ahead.
It seems to me that if they had one already done in 2020, that would resolve that. We would have to redo the whole thing. Wouldn't have all their numbers have been based on the whole area as a whole for what it was at that time? I mean, I know they're tearing the building down.
Do you, I guess I'm not sure that I'm following. I apologize,
So
Mr.
you're
Baker.
going to peel out a piece of what was already in the other allocation area to make two different allocation areas.
Right, right.
Wouldn't that be the purpose of the original one?
No, it doesn't. So when you're talking, I guess any financings that where the 2020 consolidated allocation area is pledged to those financings wouldn't have been based on the projection for this project, because we didn't know that this project was going to come about. And pulling these two parcels out for this limited purpose I guess it just doesn't impact anything that's pledged from that 2020 consolidated area. And notably, the city is not actually the revenue stream from this allocation area is going to be pledged to the financing that is going into that incentive, but the city is not actually hanging its hat on the revenues from these two parcels. It just allows you to do the financing for this very particular project without impacting any of the financings that are relying on the larger 2020 consolidated area.
Understood. Thanks.
I try not to come every month and be as confusing as possible, guys, I promise.
Any other questions? Anyone here speaking in opposition to this request? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second. Those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. I think that's it. We'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Those in favor? We are adjourned.